4 November. First assignment. Second assignment. Bibi. Okay, so your assignment is June 31st, October. If you exceed 31st, don't bother sending your assignment. Yeah, but still don't bother. Okay, so today we are going to look at the objectives. The objectives in businesses. So what we're going to look at today is basically what a business is trying to achieve or what a business wants to achieve in a given period of time. So each business has different kinds of objectives depending on what they want to achieve by the end of the day. For example, if you start a business today, and you compare yourself to someone who started a business 5 years ago, your objectives are going to be different. So objectives. Business objectives are the things that businesses want to achieve. So that is how we can define business objectives. So I said that these objectives differ depending on the type of business, sometimes even the industry in which the business belongs to. Okay, so those of you who have the assignment, you can post on the group for the people who chose to come at 9 when this class is started at 8. Yes, for example, and I. Ivy, can you give me 2 examples of business objectives? Just 2. Maybe. Okay, so maybe making profits. Let's put it at a maybe. Asante. Any other business objective? Hmm? Okay. Tendai. Yeah. So Tendai says she doesn't know. So I've said maybe making profits. So we're just going to list some of the business objectives right here. Mm-mm. Yes, the answer is going to come. Okay, profit maximization. You said what? Maybe profits. Yes, maybe profits. Survival, market share. And expansion. So these are not the only business objectives that businesses may have, but these are the objectives that we are going to look at. So let's start with profit maximization. So Ivy, you said maybe profit. Can you choose anyone to explain on profit maximization? Since you said maybe. Miracle, can you explain on profit maximization? Mm-hmm. We all know what a profit is, and how could you define profit maximization?
That means much in getting maximum profit for shareholders.
Why does it seem like you're reading from somewhere? Why does it seem like you're reading from somewhere? The answer is too perfect. Okay, so when we are looking at profits, this is the excess amount that you get from a particular business. So if I invested 5,000 in a business and I get how much? How much am I getting? Eh,
75.
maybe 7.5 or 10,000, but 20,000 is a little too much for profits.
Yeah. 10,000 is a minimum profit.
10,000 is actually normal depending on the business you're doing. You can get double what you've invested. So that excess amount is profit, is a profit. So this means that for every business, one of their main objective is to make profits. So when we are looking at business structures, you're going to observe that we have a particular business called a non-profit organization. So these non-profit organizations do not have profit maximization as an objective. But for 90% of businesses across the globe, profit maximization is their major objective. So it means that for whatever they're selling in anything they're doing, they're trying to make more money out of it. So it's the same way akakuza nukuti takweza ma raw materials manyinyirika. because you know that at some point you also have to raise your prices, meaning that you may also lose customers. So if they reduce the price of raw materials, or if the cost of production goes down, you are going to make more profits than you were before. So all that is profit maximization. We are looking at making more profits and not losses. I hope that is making sense. So a profit is the excess amount a business gets after making sales. So profit maximization means that businesses want to earn more profits every time they make sales. So profit maximization is one of the major business objectives. All right, so that is on profit maximization. That is the first objective that most businesses have. So these objectives may differ, I said, but a business could also have several objectives, meaning that profit maximization, survival, market share, awareness, and expression could all be the objectives of one business. So they differ, but they could all be the objectives of a particular business. It's just that the objectives differ in levels. So the second type of objective we are going to look at is survival. Can I wrap this off? Who's writing too slow? Apart from Tendai. Okay, so the second objective that we are going to look at is survival. Guys, I've forgotten your names. What's that guy's name again? Happy, right? This guy, what's your name again? Precious. Okay, I remember the others. Okay, Happy. Can you explain survival as a business objective? And before you explain it, Precious, can you tell Happy what we are talking about? What are business objectives?
Business objectives are things that the business owners want to achieve after making sales.
So how can you explain survival as a business objective?
For business to survive, they need to take risks. innovation, customer satisfaction.
Okay, so that's some of the things that a business needs to do in order to survive. But how do you define survival as a business objective? Yes.
You're going to
Okay, if this was a question out of 10, I would give you a 5. Yes, I would give you a 5.
ability to remain, to be constant.
Constant, maybe, but yes, it's the ability for a business to remain in the market. So when we are looking at business survival, it means that for different kinds of businesses, they want to remain within the market. So businesses meet different kinds of challenges within the market. For example, when we had COVID-19, most businesses died. And maybe for an example that works better is how businesses are struggling to survive within Malawi. So every time you try to order something from outside the country, you have to put in more money. Now, the money revolving around the country is still the same, but you have to keep making more money in order to survive as a business. So it means that survival could be one of the objectives that a business could have. Meaning that a business will try to remain in the market. It will try to remain against the competitors. It will still try to thrive within the market so that they can still make profits. So profits aside, profit maximization may also be a contributing factor to survival. Meaning that a business making more sales will contribute to it remaining within the market. I hope survival is making sense. So if you are sick today, you go to the hospital so that you do not die, especially when we look at things like malaria, HIV, what else? Infection. Maybe people don't die with infection, but yeah, malaria. It means that you're going to the hospital, you're only trying to survive. You're trying to remain within your family members. You want to stay alive. So that is the same thing with business survival. Is that making sense? Or do we have any questions? Okay. Zikabwera ngatese sitikadabweti. Okay, so when we look at survival of businesses, this objective may only be relevant for businesses that are below 1 year. Or it may be relevant for a business that has met different conditions within the market. For example, let's talk about food. We have KFC, we have Chicken Inn. So let's assume that Chicken Inn was there way before KFC came, right? So you're going to notice that if KFC comes after Chicken Inn, Chicken Inn will be shaken by KFC because KFC is a bigger company than Chicken Inn. So for it to remain within the market, for it to still be making sales within the market, it may have survival as an objective. Meaning that it has met different conditions within the market and it needs to survive past those conditions. But for new businesses, survival is also one of the main objectives. Because if a business survives after 1 year, there's a higher probability or a chance that it is going to survive throughout the other years. So yes, that is survive. Okay, so we have other businesses within Malawi that almost died. But in order for the business to still remain running, they had to sell the business or sell the shares so that different individuals can be able to help the business survive. All right, so the third objective that we are going to look at is market share. Yanko, what do we mean when we talk about market share as a business objective? Hmm? It was Christopher who actually mentioned market share, but he said you should explain it.
Yeah, this means that business product is being shared by like the executive and the map. You are sharing the map.
Who believes his answer? So basically, you just decided to define what market share, not define, but you used the word market share. Who can define market share apart from Christopher? And I. Yes, happy.
I think these are one investing.
Okay, who believes his answer? See how much they hate you, all of them. Anyone else? Then I. Back to you. He saved you, but back to you. Judith, what is market share as a business objective? Okay, Christopher. So you just mentioned it and you don't know the definition. Okay, When we look at the businesses that are present within University of Lilongwe, you find out that, let's talk about the food part. We have that guy, Ajuaya, and then we have the lady that brings the cement rice, right? So when we look at these two individuals, they have customers. Both individuals have customers within University of Lilongwe. But to some extent, even though they talk, to some extent there may be a component of trying to get more customers than the other. So it means that if the lady has 50 customers, the Juaya guy may want to get 70 customers. Or he may want to steal customers from this person. So market share means that you get to control a huge part of the market than your competitors. The same way we can talk about how Japanese cars control a bigger part of the market than German cars. That is market share. It means you want more customers, you want to make more money than your competitors, and you want your name to be well known more than that of your competitors. I hope that is making sense. It's not about sharing students. You know, it's also not about what Happy said. But market share means that you want to get more customers than your competitors. You want to be in a better position than your competitors. We know such companies within Malawi that are better than others. For example, Sobo is better than the Nika. Even though they come with my 5 liters is my economy jan, but Sobo is still better than Nika, meaning that Sobo still controls a huge portion of Malawi than Nika does. The same way Castel controls much part of Malawi than any of these 4 cousins and the likes. That is market share. Does that make sense? Okay. The other business objective that we're going to look at is brand awareness. And what is brand awareness? If you tell me you do not know, you can pack your things and go. Okay, maybe that was harsh. But what is brand awareness?
You have to, okay, your customers have to be aware of your business. I think you can use what
Okay, so Tendai says a business would want customers to know more about their company, right? Okay, that is right. So when it comes to brand awareness, we are looking at how a business can publicize its brand or its name. For example, if we take this marker, even though we don't even know its name, but by just looking at the shape, you can know that this is the better marker than the others. After using it, that is. When you look at the packaging of some products, you can even tell that these products are better. Sometimes the packaging comes in and the products are bad, but the packaging itself tries to portray a different message. If you find a particular box that has the Kangogo on it, I don't know if it's a Kangogo or what, the KFC guys. If you find that box somewhere, you know it belongs to KFC before even reading the name. That is brand awareness. They have placed the image of the company in a position where customers can think about them without even hearing the name. When you're passing by, who stays Area 3, Jinji Road, we passed Amena Madusa roundabout here, Crossroads. Anyone? Asante, who else? I think around between 11 and 1. When you're passing through that roundabout, you can tell that the KFC guys are KFCing the chicken, even from the roundabout. So you clearly know that this is not Galitos, this is not anything else, it's just KFC. That is how they want you to always think about them, even without seeing the logo, even without hearing the name. Brand awareness. So when it comes to businesses, sometimes they just don't want to make profits. I'll give an example. I think I've given this example before about these ladies who sell sexual herbs, right? Palombe Sweetness. I've given an example of Palombe Sweetness. When you go to town, old town, you pass by the bridge, you go to town, you find ladies or women, actually older women who sell the same things that they sell. But for them, it's not just about making profits. They also want to be known. That's where brand awareness comes in. So profit maximization may not be enough for some businesses. And for other businesses, they're already making profits. People already like their products. Their main objective could be that they want people to know about them. By their own, they're making proper products. Yes, they're making sales, they're making profits. But how about the whole world knows about us? That's brand awareness. So a business could want to be known all over the globe or all over the country in order to make more profits. I hope that is making sense. Jimmy, do you have questions? Okay, the last business objective is expansion. What? How much do you have? How much do you have? So sometimes when customers just know where you bought your product from, it may increase sales because the brand is well known for people who are too pompous like Clement. I hope that is making sense. The last objective that we are going to look at is expansion. Clement, what is expansion? How do you have no idea?
Pause.
Asante. Expansion. Eh? Yes, Christopher.
Enlargement.
Sorry?
Enlargement in terms of size, making profits, opening up branches.
Okay, that is right. So, Christopher has said something about enlargement of the company in different sectors. So, when it comes to expansion of a business, they could want to expand in different areas. For example, they could want to expand in terms of size, meaning that by the end of 6 years, we want, or maybe by the end of 6 months, we want to have another branch. There is a particular shop in Area 49. They sell stuff. So they sell things like underwears, boxes, glasses, and other things, other important things. So they had a shop just here in Lilongwe. But after a period of time, they opened another shop in Blantyre. And after a given period, they also opened another shop in Mzuzu. So their plan is to have shops all over the country. That is expansion. It means that you started with one store, but you're able to open other branches within different locations. Expansion could also be in terms of the products that you're selling. For example, let's talk about the guy who sells Jiwaya. So if he chooses to, he starts with just Jiwaya and maybe some drinks. But then expansion could mean that he's adding more things like chicken, sausages, and also beef. Yeah. Adding these products means that he's trying to cater to the needs and wants of other customers and not just limited to those who want chips. I hope that is making sense. That is expansion. It means growing the business in different sectors. You could choose to grow the business by having other branches. You could choose to grow the business by selling different products, unlike those you're already selling. So if you sell freezers, you could also start selling water. Meaning that those who don't drink freezers can buy water from you. That is expansion. You're catering to the needs of other customers that may want different products. That is why when we look at skincare products, every time they produce one product or one particular product, after a given period of time, they also introduce other products. For example, when we look at Nivea, they only had the regular ones, the cheaper ones. But at some point, they introduced Nivea for men. And after that, they decided to make it worse and introduced other kinds of products that cater to different kinds of customers. That is expansion. I hope that is making sense. Okay, so we are going to look at the link between profits and expansion, and we'll also look at the link between profits and survival. So we've defined profit maximization, we've also defined survival. What is the link between profits and survival? Happy? We do have Happy in here, right? What is the link between profits and survival? Choose anyone. Precious or Nigel? Nigel.
What is the what?
Happy, you mind repeating the question? Tell him the question.
What's the link between profit?
Profits go hand in hand. It's a word of the goal. The business is not making profits. There are limited chances for you to survive growth. On a daily basis, the business can use some profits to expand purchases of sale of stock, which they can sell raw materials. Some businesses may use the profits to pay for lighting. Literally, the connection between these two is both for business to survive.
Okay, that is right. So when we look at profits. A business is only going to survive if it's making profits. So profits are very important for each business. It means that if you start making sales today, no matter how small the profits are, they're very important for the survival of the business. So there's this component of giving people products and they choose not to pay you, especially Malawian people. They just choose, even though they're rich, they just choose not to pay you. So when you look at these individuals, it is very important to understand that every penny that you lose by giving to these individuals may affect your business. So it means that sometimes when you choose to ask for discounts, you should also think about the person selling the product. That is why when you ask for different kinds of discounts from other people, they tell you that you'd rather go than them giving you a discount. It's because they know that they're going to make a loss when they give you that discount. The profit is minimal. For example, the individuals who sell these things, soft drinks, they make small profits unless they're selling in bulk. So it means that sometimes the profit per crate is just how much? 4,000. So if you're selling in bulk, that's when you understand that you're making more profits. But if you're selling in small quantities, the profits you make are just minimal. So for other businesses, the profits that they make are huge. All that contributes to the survival of the business. If the business makes losses, the business may not survive. So I talked about the business meeting other types of circumstances or difficult situations when we're talking about survival being an objective. Some of the things include the business not making profits over a given period of time. So they end up making losses and the business starts to fall. So they get to a point where survival is the most important component of the business because they're not making enough money to sustain the operations of the business. I hope that made sense. Any questions on profits and survival?
Sorry for drifting. I still find it.
Who hasn't received their mid-semester papers? Okay, so the other part that we are going to look at is the link between profits and expansion, the link between those two objectives. So like I said earlier, profit maximization is one of the major objectives of each businesses. So it means that most businesses, 90% of businesses have profit maximization as their major objective because it is also a contributing factor to the other objectives. So now let us talk about profits and expansion. Ivy, what is the link between profits and expansion?
For a business to expand, it needs to make
Okay, expansion can show itself in different sectors. So I'm just going to write them down right there. The first is so we have funding growth, we have market development, research and development, strategic acquisitions, and different other sectors. Okay, let us talk about funding growth. So a business needs profits in order to acquire some things. For you make profits today, let's say from 5,000 you've made 7.5. After you've made that 7.5, you can reinvest it into the business in order to fund some other. So just as Ivy said, a business needs to make profits in order for it to survive. So the profits that a business makes can be used to fund or invest into the business in order to grow it. So if I make 7.5 from the 5,000 that I invested in the business, I can reinvest that money into the business so that I can grow. So it means I am paying for all the necessary items to grow the business using the profits that I'm making. I hope that is making sense. So profits provide the necessary capital needed to invest Clement, what do you think we mean when we talk about market development? How do profits help with market development?